as you started to discuss your panels, what were the topics that you discussed?
So yesterday we talked here at WOW Summit about RWAs and their strategic integration, as well as some of the legal challenges in the industry and the way to integrate legal advice in a sustainable way into companies so that companies don't spend too much money on law but also remain compliant.
Okay. Like, what were the insights from the panels that you can share?
So I think with the legal side, we had some conflict because we had a former regulator on the panel, as well as a lawyer, and well, everyone was lawyers more or less. And one view was that you need to meet all regulations, and it's very important. But the other one was that it's almost impossible to meet all regulations, and you can spend all your money and more to meet regulations before you even launch. So you have to balance legal spending and technological development.
Makes sense. Yeah, and what about RWAs?
With RWAs, we talked about the different ways that can be implemented and also what it means. It's a fancy word, and sometimes whether it's a DAO or an NFT, we don't even know what it means, and we were talking about how often it's just a different way of describing owning shares in a project, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a farm, as long as it's on the blockchain.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, how do you envision the next year? Do you think that we will have like more RWA projects? Will it be like implemented in a good way? And how do you see, like the next year developments in
I
this
think
sphere?
that the concept of RWAs is going to be clarified more. I think currently a lot of projects call themselves an RWA without there being a clear definition or framework for what really is an RWA versus a tokenized asset, or if they're just the same thing fundamentally. But generally speaking, under that label, the amount of projects is going to grow, the amount of money changing hands under that flag, so to say, is going to increase.
Yeah. What are the trends that like we can see in the, next year? If you see some.
So, I mean, we're entering a bull market right now, and that, if we look historically, it's going to mean a whole lot of new projects, a whole lot of investment capital coming in from outside the industry, looking for opportunities. A lot of projects are going to get started, but by the time they get anywhere near launch, we're probably going to be having a plateau or a drop in the market, and a lot of projects aren't going to survive.
Yeah, that's interesting to know. Like, what's your personal area of interest in the Web3? I assume that you, as a journalist, you cover like very specific niche.
Yeah, so journalist is part of my role. I'm also doing a PhD in law regarding decentralized autonomous organizations, specifically and blockchain governance. So that's an area I'm researching at the University of Turku in Finland currently.
Cool. Yeah, that's very interesting. Can you share some insights from your researches already?
Well, one insight actually similar to this RWA comment, which I maybe took from that finding, was that the term DAO is also unclear. There's many projects calling themselves DAOs, but really the pure DAO that is not operating on any kind of legal entity, that is not connected to any country specifically, it almost doesn't exist. It's very rare. Whereas almost all projects that call themselves DAOs, they're a new type of organization, yes, but they do maintain some kind of legal jurisdictional tether, I would say, whether it's a foundation, whether it's a company surveying them in some way. And this is probably a better definition of a DAO today.
Gotcha. It seems like we need structures and like clear rules, let's say, for very like different initiatives in the Web3 space, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And the last question, I think, like, what are your impressions from the WOW Summit this year in Bangkok?
So this is, I think, my third WOW Summit. Before, it's always been in Dubai for me.
Yeah.
I think for the summit itself, Bangkok has been a breath of fresh air. I see a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces as well. I see the excitement in the industry. I see, again, being timed right at the bull market cusp. It's exciting. A lot of after parties, side events, so it's been a good time.
Cool. Yeah, wishing you a great week in Bangkok.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks.